Hi, good morning. Welcome back from spring break. You all look really excited. So my name's Miss Fultz. I've been in here. I think you've seen me lurking in the front corner of the room. So I have to teach a lesson, so we are recording. I saw some of you saw the camera, but it's kind of fun. So we're going to do color theory because you guys are going to start doing things with interior design and color and making rooms, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. So I have to give out like a pre-test for you guys. It's not really a test. You're not graded. Just to kind of gauge where you guys are at with colors. So I'm going to pass that around. It's only 10 questions. It's really easy. Did you guys have a good spring break? I think there's 3. Nobody had a good spring break? Did anybody do anything over spring break? Sweet. That sounds fun. What did you do in Illinois? That sounds fun. I just worked extra, so sounds way more exciting. All right, so if you guys could fill those out for me, that would be great. I'll give you a few minutes here to go ahead and do that. If you don't know, don't worry about it. Just kind of gauging what you know and what you don't know. So far, anyways. Is it not? Yes, we did. Because I think you sent it to me.
I just named it something that I did.
Oh, okay. Like I said, don't think too hard. If you don't know the answer, it's okay. Oh, yeah. Does this thing not work to click it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I've never used it. Not that I know.
Okay.
Yeah, you just
So I'll just have to, can I just tab? Like,
Yeah. Yep, that's what I
So maybe I'll just shift, oh, sorry.
Okay.
I'll shift that and do it that way. All right, where are we at? Sorry. Most of us still working on it a little bit. Don't forget to put your name at the top just so I can kind of get a gauge for you guys. I'll give you another minute or two, and then we'll go ahead and go on with the lesson. And I promise you'll learn all of the answers to this. So if you don't know, I'll tell you. Or do my best to tell you anyways. All right, it looks like most of you are done. I'll let you hold on to the sheets. You can kind of see as we go through, see if you guys can catch the answers to any of them. Does anybody have questions on it as of now? Right, and then I'll go ahead and collect them at the end after we go through everything. Okay. Yep. And then Ms. Hotop put a note-taking sheet on Google Classroom, so if you guys wanted to pull up your computers, you can take notes and kind of keep track as we go along. Hopefully learn a few things. Well, you're getting those out. Does anybody know anything about, I mean, I'm sure a little bit in elementary school you learned about color. Does anybody know anything about the color wheel or color theory? Kind of how it works, how colors mix, anything like that?
Some of them
How about-
are taking this later since class, I think.
Okay. So I've heard some of you have taken a class where you should have learned some of this stuff. Am I correct?
Anybody taking Mrs. Anderson's fashion classes?
No? So color theory is pretty good, not only in interior design, but like she said, also in fashion design. Color is used a lot. So does anybody know why color is important when it comes to designing things? Designing rooms or clothes or anything like that? All right, so let's see here. So if I was wearing all black, what impression would that give? Everybody has judgments. Everybody kind of knows. Does anybody know, like if I was dressed completely in black, what would they assume I was doing or feeling? Good point. Hairstylist, that works too. Yep. So different professions have different color codes that kind of match with them. What if I was in all bright colors? Would you assume something about me? Yep. So happy, bubbly. So colors have different, I guess, connotations and feelings and emotions that go along with them, which is why people do different things in different rooms or with their outfits. So that's kind of what we're going to learn about so you guys can design a room and have different aspects and feelings towards different areas of a house. That didn't work either. I have to use. Oh, okay. All right. So that is hard to see. This one? Nope. This one. Okay. So we're going to learn about primary colors, secondary colors, and intermediate colors. They're also called tertiary colors, just depends on who you're talking to. But basically, the different colors are how you mix them, and they come up with different ones. So I'll go through all of those for you. And if we have time at the end, we're going to create a color wheel as well. So we have crayons and sheets for that too. So hopefully we'll get to that. Does this work now? Oh, yeah. Okay. So we're going to start with the history of color. So like I said, colors play different roles in different things. They also have different symbolic reasons throughout history. So different cultures and different countries have different colors represent them. So the first one here, I believe, is China. So does anybody know what imperial is in China? So it's basically like the royalty in China, like the emperors and their families throughout their dynasties. So yellow is their color that represents them. My other picture didn't show up. There was a picture of a man over here in yellow. But it also represents, so like I said, with bright colors, the joy and the happiness represents that. And it's still the color that they use today to represent them. Oh, hey, there we go. There's my man. All right, so Greece and Rome, they used red. So red, they believed, had protective powers. It's also kind of powerful and intense. And as with like Valentine's Day, represents love as well. So those can all have different feelings. And then purple here is kind of represented for nobility. Back in the day, a lot of the kings and queens wore purple because it was expensive to dye your clothes purple. So only the rich were able to wear it. So that's why it kind of represents nobility and the crown there. And it also kind of goes along with wisdom. So if you think about, I'm trying to think of different ones. Different logos for companies will also use different colors based on what they're wanting to sell you. So if you've ever paid attention to that, that also plays a role in that as well. Thanks. All right. So Egypt here, there's a bunch of different colors that they used. They were kind of more all over the place. But they used blue and a tangerine orange color and green to represent different things. So blue, like the confidence and loyalty. It's not too far away, but like Colonesco, their school is the Royals. So it's a blue. It means loyalty and kind of a royal as well. So orange, like energetic, enthusiasm. So that goes along with the bright colors and being bubbly. And then green. So we just had St. Patrick's Day. Green usually goes with lucky. If you have anything environmental, usually that's green as well. Like those arrows that go around for recycling are usually green. And so nature goes along with that as well. All right, so the Italian Renaissance, they were known for a lot of paintings and famous artists. They used colors like reds and greens. I think there's another picture on here. Oh, no. Oh, I lied. Sorry. Reds, greens, golds, and blues in their colors. I really think there's another thing that disappeared. But that's just kind of what they use to put in their paintings, represent different things for them as well. So different time periods throughout history, not just different countries. And then the Rococo period also had a lot of paintings and things like that. So they used colors like pinks and pastels. They kind of represented more delicate things and femininity. Things were a little more playful, as you can kind of see the lady swinging in the picture. So that's, and I have a degree in fashion as well, and they also, a lot of their clothing went along with these same themes as well. So 18th century England, colors were more rich and vibrant. They had a Chinese influence, so they used a lot of the reds and golds. So like I said, the yellow from China and things like that to represent elegance. And I guess I think of that. Does anybody else, when you see like really rich colors and I guess heavier fabrics and things like that, kind of are a little more rich and elegant? So that's kind of what they were going for in the 18th century. We have the Victorian era. They used a lot of dull colors. So I know mauve, that like dusty pink color, is really popular right now again. So they all kind of come back in fads. But that was really popular back then, and browns and things like this. So back in these times, they had a lot of houses that had parlors and things like that. And this was kind of, I guess, a representation of that. And they used a lot of those colors in there. And there's certain places, if you go to museums and things like that, you can see they still have those color schemes in them. They were also known to have a lot of things. So eclecticism means you just owned a lot of items. So you can see in here, I mean, they have a ton of different, I guess, accessories and furnishings in their house. That was really popular back then. And then the earliest 20th century, they were more about having things be streamlined, so really sleek and straight, or the lines stood out a lot, so they used a lot of browns and grays and whites and blacks. They used a lot of monochromatic things, so basically, I think you'll touch on this sometime later this week, but monochromatic is just a lot of one color in different shades and tones. So like, I guess I have blue, but I have two different types of blue on. That'd be monochromatic, minus all the other colors I'm wearing. But so that's what they used a lot of, and you can see in this picture, it's different shades of kind of a yellowy beige color, but it's all throughout that. It's all based off of that. But it's mostly neutrals, so it represents a lot of cleanliness and stability, and people liked that back in that time. It just made them feel more secure with how they were living. All right, so the 1920s, so these are probably in the 1900s, at least for me, more times I don't remember because I wasn't alive, but it's what you hear about more often, I feel like. So the 1920s, they use a lot of white interiors, a lot of bright accents in their furnishings in their homes, and so that was a trend for a while, and then they kind of shifted into the 50s. Does anybody recognize, like, as far as the scene or the colors from different movies, or if you love Grease or anything like that? So they used a lot of colors based off of Mexico and the Southwest. They had that influence in there where they had brighter colors. So a lot of like the blue and the yellow back in some of those other eras, they might not have worn or put that in their rooms, but they did do that in the 50s. And it was really fun, and it was pretty popular, and usually if someone sees those colors, they think of the 50s. All right, and in the 1990s, I was alive through this time, and it was not the prettiest of colors. But they used a lot of golds and blues and reds. I remember a lot of that really dark green color. Some houses still have those colors in their house. But a lot of like the Ivy League, so if you think of Harvard, Yale, things like that, they used a lot of those colors. So Yale is blue, Harvard is that deep red color. So they kind of got known for that. All right, so I know I have the answer on here, but so where does color come from? Did anybody know that it came from a ray of light before this or before your answer? Got a couple nods of the head. All right, so without the light, color doesn't exist. So that stream of light has all those different colors in it. So without that, we wouldn't have anything. So I don't even know if it'd be white necessarily, but it'd be blank. So light can be broken down into different spectrums. So I know that was one of the answers on there. So it's a part of light, but it's not where light comes from. And then you can often see a lot of those colors like in the rainbow down at the bottom there. So that's kind of like the whole spectrum of colors that come from the light.
And this is where their note-taking sheet starts. So.
Okay. Yep. And so Ms. Hotop said your note-taking sheet starts about here. So if you don't have, I guess if they're not all in what I teach you for the rest of the lesson, you'll learn more about it the rest of the week, and your notes should fit with that. Oops, that didn't work. You're fine. All right. So what I was saying earlier, so I want to ask you guys, other than on here, so what can color do? I know I asked you at the beginning. How about anything else? Does anybody come up with any other examples after learning kind of how it affected history a little bit? So I said it can change our mood. Is that true? If you wear, I guess, whether it affects your mood or not, do you dress based off of your mood? Yes. So, I mean, I know some people will put their clothes out the night before, but a lot of times if you dress that day, it's based off how you're feeling or how you're wanting to feel that day. So that usually, not just clothes, but the color you put on as well can affect you. I guess I'd say people that dye their hair fun colors, usually that's how they're affecting how they come across based off the color. So that can also change your mood. It can alter a space as well. So what I was saying before, I say in this picture, what are your perceptions? So like, what do you see when you see this room? How does it make you feel? Does it make you want to go into the room? Yes? Does it feel homey, inviting, warm? I'm getting nods on this side, but not a lot on this side. Yes? Okay. How about this side? I'm not going to give you an example of what it makes me feel like, so what does it make you guys feel like? I want at least one person to answer. I hear you talking. Creepy? I looked up kind of dark rooms to put a picture on there, and there were some very creepy rooms that came up. But yeah, so it's not, it's not inviting. Yeah. It does, it's very straight-lined, minimal, but it doesn't look like the place you really want to go in and stay. You wouldn't want to hang out there unless your best friend was there or something like that. But that's kind of the difference. So this is what color could do to a room. So depending on what you're wanting your house to feel like, a lot of times in homes, people want you to feel invited and they want you to stay and feel comfortable. Sometimes hotels will be a little bit more minimalist because they don't want to cater to one type of person over another type of a person. But so you'll see kind of some of those differences as well in that. All right, so how do we get the colors? So the colors actually come from pigments, and they're substances from the ground. They get ground into these fine powders here. They come from things like animal sources, minerals, vegetable sources. Did anybody know that colors could come from animals? You did? Okay. That, I kind of knew, but that kind of surprised me a little bit, especially the vegetable sources. I know vegetables have colors, but the fact that they can make colors and turn them into dyes for different fabrics and paints and things like that was really cool. But yeah, so here's some examples. You get purple from shellfish, red dye. This one is kind of gross. Red dye from dried bodies of scaled insects. So if you're wearing red, you get to think about that. That's fun. But they can do a lot of things with different colors and different sources. So I know there's people, that are against anything with animals, but they could do it from vegetables or minerals as well. All right, so on to the color wheel. So there's 12 hues in that spectrum I was talking to you guys about. And there's the three categories I said, primary, secondary, and intermediate. And then we've got all of them on here. We're going to kind of go through them all one by one. So the primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. This was a question on your test, your pretest. So they cannot be made from other colors. So primary colors are what other colors are made from. So the red, blue, yellow, that's how we get everything else, by mixing other things together. So then that's how we get our secondary colors. So for green, you're going to mix, blue and yellow together. The color will throw me off. Blue and yellow together are going to make green. Red and blue mixed together are going to make the purple. And then red and yellow are going to make the orange. Did people know that, or kind of just learning that? Sometimes I forget that I just know stuff and I don't. I remember that not everybody learned that in elementary school or anything like that. But so that's how you get some of those different colors. There are other colors. So when we get into the tertiary and the intermediate ones, that's how we get some of our other colors. So those giant crayon boxes that have all the different colors, it's going to come from primary or secondary colors. So the intermediate colors, this is where you get the mixture of colors. So yellow, green, blue, violet, and you're just going to mix them together. They're basically, the first color is going to be the primary color, and the second color is your secondary color. And that makes your intermediate. I know that sounds kind of confusing, but it's basically like a 1, 2, 3. So you have your first color, mix it with the secondary color, and then you get your third intermediary color. So to me, I think tertiary is kind of like third, the T's, tertiary and third color. But so that's kind of how those work, and that's how you get the different colors and the mixtures of things like that. Does anybody have questions so far? Sometimes when I get nervous, I talk really fast. So everybody understanding it? Nods of heads? You're a very quiet bunch. All right. Well, I guess I have time for it. Yeah. All right. So we have an activity, and yes, I think I'm funny. Humanity. I laughed for a really long time, and I thought you'd probably think I was crazy. But so I'm going to pass out these sheets now, and this is where we're going to kind of get practice actually making the different colors on a color wheel. It's going to basically be primary and secondary colors that we're going through on this one. I'll tell you what colors you need. Pass that back. And you're probably going to have to come up and get a color, and you might have to share. We're going to need our 3 primary colors. So if you have your sheet, we're going to need red, blue, and yellow. If you have crayons, awesome. If you don't, we have crayons and colored pencils in here. So if you guys want to come up and grab one. Like I said, you might have to share. Okay. Did everybody get a sheet?
Red, blue, and purple.
Red, blue, and yellow. So the 3 primary colors. Because remember, that's how we get all the other colors. So we're going to make the other colors. So we need the 3 main ones. I'm going to have extra time.
What?
I'm going to have extra time. Okay. Yeah. I didn't look over it, but I could definitely pull it out. And kind of, yeah. If only they were more talkative. But if only they were more talkative.
Why don't you come tomorrow? Because today we have a lesson in homeroom. So can you come during homeroom tomorrow? Yeah. Okay.
Are we finding the colors? If you can't find the exact color, just get close to it. It'll give you the same idea for this, at least. Does everybody have colors, or at least have someone near them that has colors they can share? Nods. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. All right, since you all have your colors, your color wheel should be numbered 1 through 6. So you're going to use your blue to color all 3 of the sections to the left of the line that goes from 1 to 4. So if you look at your sheet, you have 1 to 4. So on the left side, you're going to color all 3 of these blue. Not the side that it's on. So just if you go straight down this line and color this side, so where my hand's at. All blue. All 3 of them blue. Oh, back there. Sharpener?
Yeah.
It's in the back.
Behind
Red, blue, and yellow. And if you can't find the exact color, just find something close to it. And then I have it written up there, but 1 to 4, you're going to color these 3 to the left of it, all blue. That's fine. That's how I would be, so.
What's the house called that has 2 children?
the ones on either side. Yeah.
There's a blue for you. It's going to roll. There's a blue for you.
Or real?
Yeah. There's a car. Oh, bars. Here. Yeah. I was gonna say. The Georgia. Triangle what? And wall.
While we're coloring, did anybody else do anything fun for spring break? I know I asked, and only one person said they went to Illinois. Nice, that's exciting. Well, tends to be, unfortunately. Still fun, though. Nice, it looks very nice. the best. That probably needs to happen to me too. Anybody else over here do anything? Just slept in? Wish I could have done that. All right, how are we doing on the blue? Are we almost done? See, a few of you are done. All right, so for those that are done, I'm going to go on to the next one. Oh, sorry. No, sorry.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right, so for those that have done with the blue on the left side, now you're going to use your red and color in the entire area above the line from 3 to 6. So 3 to 6 is here. So all 3 of these on the top. So these 3. 3 to 6, yeah. So these 3 are going to be red. So you'll overlap at least one of yours. Does that make sense? So, yep. So 3 and 6 are here, so you're going to color these 3. Yep. So 3 to 6. So these, if you're holding your sheet upright, these top 3. So one will be blue right now, and then the 2 next to it.
The one that you showed me, the Georgian. Yeah.
You need a red. That's probably good enough. Oh. Nope, you're still good. So color this one too. So you're going to color all 3 of those. There's a red for you.
Oh, thank you.
And then the next ones you're going to color these. Oh, wait a minute. 1 to 4. Yep, you did it right. So then you're going to color these 3 red. So these 3 are going to be blue.
And then just do red?
Yep. You're going to overlap a little bit.
Okay.
So 2 of the 3 are going to be blue and red put together. No, I lied. Just the... I can't do this looking at this. Oh, you did do it backwards. Yeah, you should have done these 3.
Wait, these 3 yellow?
These 3 should have been blue. You're right. So we'll just do yours opposite. So let's just flip yours. When I say numbers, yours are going to be backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So just color this one blue, and then color up here. Yeah, color these 3 red.
So finish coloring this in blue, then color these 3 red.
Those 2 red. Yep. So don't listen to what I just said. I was right the first time.
Yeah. And they all kind of are, especially the Garrison does kind of look like a Georgian. They're definitely like you said.
And people say that, like,
Okay. Thank you.
So only one should be blue and red.
Miss Hotel, what are you going to do for the summer?
Yeah. Lots of money.
Mine was the first day, like, because of their experience, and then, so, like, it wore off, and then it got really nice. And then, like, oh, what's it like to eat? And I'll get your medicine. And then, so then I went out to eat, and everything just fell out of my mouth.
Do you need a red?
Yeah, it's for
Okay. Okay. If I can find another red. Yes. Here's a red for you. I know a lot of you are done, but there's still a few of you that are catching up, so I'll wait just a minute before I go to the next one. Does anybody like doing things with colors? Like mixing things up, changing things? A few of you? This is one of my favorite subjects. I really like color. It's fun. All right, quite a few of you are done now, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the next one. So now you're going to use your yellow, the last primary color. Listen up, please. So yellow, we're going to color in the sections under the line from 2 to 5. So 2 to 5 is here, so you're going to color under. So you're going to color these 3 down here, yellow. So you'll overlap again. Does anybody have questions on what I just said? Or I guess on it in general? So under 2 to 5, so the bottom 3 to the right at an angle. So like these 3. Yep. I think you had crayons and this is a color pencil, but if you're done already, try going over with the sections that you have 2 colors overlapping. Try mixing the colors a little bit more, making it a little bit darker. Some of you, I can tell it's hard to see, and some of you did a really good job. So then you can kind of maybe get a better idea of the colors that you're making by mixing them. Getting it over here? Yeah. Markers, fun. In markers, you might have a slight harder chance telling what they mix together because marker, it'll still work. It's just they bleed a little bit more than mixing together. So, but you're still doing good. Yours will just stand out more than everybody else's. Also, if you're done already, go ahead and write your name at the top as well. Okay, yeah. I'll wait another minute or so. All right, I know some of us are still going with the colors, and that's fine, but for those of you that are done, if you can definitely tell the different colors, go ahead and label them. So you have your 3 primary, which are, I don't want to tell you. What are your 3 primary colors? You just used them. Yep, red, blue, and yellow, so go ahead and label those. They're going to be the ones that are just that color, because remember, you can't use other colors to make them. And then go ahead and label the other 3 that you mixed. So those are going to be your secondary colors. What were the 3 secondary colors that you made? Orange, green, and purple. Yep. trying to figure out what you do next.
No.
Let's see. Red was,
Red
or,
is these three.
yep. So yellow was also this one. And then red is going to be
These two, right?
those three. Yep, sorry. All right, so if you've labeled them with all the different colors, go ahead and label which ones are primary and which ones are secondary. So you can write, if you wrote red, you can write its answer right above it, kind of in each section.
Yeah, you would want to, but I mean, we don't have a lot of time left, so.
All right, we only have about a minute or so left of class. Well, you're finishing up. Awesome. Keep going. Does anybody have questions about anything? I know after I repeated it a couple times, you probably got it, but just wanted to check. And then tomorrow you'll learn about warm colors and cool colors and their different meanings and how you can use them as well. Yep. And go ahead and if you have your, do you want him to turn in the color wheel? Or keep it till?
Hold on.
Okay. Hold on to your color wheel, and at least until tomorrow, and then Miss Hotop will do what she wants to do with them. As far as your pre-tests, if you could turn those in, or leave those on your desk, or turn them into me, so that I can use them for my class, that'd be great. I really appreciate you guys doing those for me. Yep, and go ahead and turn your colors back in up front as well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll get it. Thanks, so. Thank you. Thank you. Grab the other ones. Take your screen. Thank you. Ah, that turned out great. Switch to colored pencil.
What was that?
Switch to a colored pencil. Thank you. Well, thanks for letting me teach you guys. I really hope you learned something. Thank you. It's 10:05, right? Okay. Just making sure. Oh, okay.